everybody, hope you're all doing good and welcome back to the Yorkshire Basement Studio. I've got another episode of Studio Diaries for you right here, and it's a pretty good one if I may say so myself. So I hope you are enjoying the recent exclusive release that I did on the Bandcamp and Patreon, which is that group of 3 remixes. There was remixes that I've done of Kieran Mahon, Axel Tobin and BRAUER Frick. And I've done loads of remixes before for loads of different people, and I'm kind of slowly putting them on Bandcamp and slowly kind of doing these little collections of stuff, which I hope you're enjoying and I hope you listen to. Anyway, there was a particular remix in that package, and it was the one for BRAUER Frick that I did. And I thought I'd get the session up for that particular one and have a kind of a deep dive into a particular not an element but like a production technique that I've exploited and employed in that remix that is kind of like cool, and it kind of makes the track what it is, because there's not a lot in there that I've done apart from this, and it just changed everything. And I think it's worth like kind of showing what it was. It doesn't matter if you're a producer or if you've never seen any of this stuff before. I think you might find it interesting anyway, because you'll hear what's happening, whether you use it in your own music or if you don't. It's kind of a oh my god kind of moment, like, oh, I see what he's done there. And I thought you might like to see and hear what I've done and why the remix sounds like that, basically. So have a listen to the BRAUER Frick remix right now if you haven't, and then come back to this video. But I'm going to spin around in a second and get the session open and start messing around with it. So cool. Actually, before I do that, I'm just going to tell you about how I got the remix job opportunity or whatever. So it was before COVID, and I got an email and it said, "Hey Thomas Ragsdale, we've heard your music and it's like really cool. Do you want to do a remix?" And I just said yeah, and that's it. So they sent me all the different parts to the song, Masse or Masse, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, which is on, obviously that's on Spotify and Bandcamp and everything. And I just said yeah, and then I did the remix, and they liked it. So cool, that's the story. So spin around, and I'm gonna look at the screen and see you in a minute. Bye. So this is the session file for the remix, and I am currently looping just like a section of it, because it's a very loopy remix. This I'm looping a section with everything muted, so it's silent. So the main kind of element and the main like thing with this remix is it's their noises, BRAUER Frick's noises, that I've chopped up a little bit, and I found some cool loops because it's a really kind of organic, beautiful track. There's not much computer kind of music in there. It's all live instruments. So I found a bit that I really liked, and I just sliced it and I just put it in. So it was kind of out of time and it was all weird, but there was no other way to do this remix because it was so like, it's just so good music. I thought, what am I gonna do? So yeah, I found like a really cool bit and I sliced it out and I've dropped it in, dropped the different elements in there, but they all kind of line up really nicely together. And I've employed a technique called sidechain compression to give the remix, like, that's its character. And sidechain compression is it's really, really awesome tool for music producers, electronic music producers, and like traditional studio producers, in that it's like a dynamics control tool. In that, you know, when you hear like a radio station and the music's playing and then someone talks and the music ducks down really quickly, that's sidechain compression. So it's kind of using another sound source to control another sound source, to control its dynamics up and down. So what you can do is you can, if you have a recording session with traditionally maybe a bass guitar and a kick drum, they're like 2 bass heavy instruments and they clash sometimes. So what you could do is you can have your bass line to cut off when the kick drum hits and then come back on when the kick drum ends, just kind of suddenly, and it it gives you a lot more room in your mix for clarity, and you can also exaggerate that massively. And if you listen to any Daft Punk's music and you can hear that throbbing zoom, 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 it's because they have so much sidechain compression. It kind of sucks the music out, and it weirdly it creates a groove. And that's kind of a characteristic of Daft Punk, French house music. That Eric Prydz Call on Me song is just covered in it. And yeah, it sounds really cool. And obviously, yeah, you would use it in traditional recording studios to duck sounds out when certain ones come in and just balance things really nicely. But yeah, you can flip it around and go crazy. And a lot of people talk about sidechain compression and the effects it has on music, the interesting effects, and I love it because it's just lovely. It sounds great. So what I've done is I kind of have everything sidechained, so it's just constantly like pushing out and pulling back in. Looks kind of weird, but and it gives this particular remix a lot of energy. And I'm going to show you just exactly what it is, and you'll hear it straight away when I turn it off and I turn it on again. You'll be like, oh, I can hear the side chaining or whatever it is. So the track starts with kick drums, nice and big. Oh yeah, by the way, this is Ruby, so yeah, she's kind of watching today. So kick drums booming, and then we get some percussion. That's all night. This is all my elements. These aren't from the band. Like the bits and pieces, hi-hats and stuff. Okay, so we got a bass line. That's like a section of their track that I've like sliced out, a really cool bit. Some xylophone. Some violin. And right now this isn't sidechain, this is just playing as is. Piano. And then some kind of like reverby drones that I kind of like made with pedals and things. So it's kind of cool. And then up here at the top of the screen is my sidechain channel, which is just I use a kick drum, but I turn it right down so you can't hear the kick, but it's activating the other sounds. So right now there's nothing there. So here we go for sidechain. Can you hear it's like pulling and pushing? Delete. And you can make like really kind of like weird build-ups and like drops just from that. And that's what I did in this tune. I just made a big sidechain track. There's like nothing else really in there. Maybe bring these violins out. Like kind of like reversed violins almost. It's really cool. So I've muted the kick drums. I take the sidechain out. Everything is kind of like, you can hear how it's like tense and stuff, and it's like kind of building, or it wants to build. Turn these lovely pianos up again, and then sidechain. You can hear how it's just like sucking in, and it's just a kick drum that I just turned down like that. So it kind of looks complex, all this stuff, but that's kind of it. There's like no other magic really, and it didn't take me long to make this remix. I mean, these are all the original parts, but it's that's them on their own, and then it just like gives it more energy, and it allows me to have a gigantic kick drum underneath it. because everything's ducking out with the kick. I think it works pretty cool on these kind of like droney sounds, because it's just kind of like you can just feel it like throbbing with the sidechain. So if I get rid of it, it's just kind of like plays out and then put it back in. You can hear it's got like a tempo even though there aren't even any drums in there. So yeah, that's kind of a quick remix tutorial, I suppose. So yeah, that's how I put this one together. And I think I was listening to it was like a John Hopkins track or something, and he did it loads in this track, and I thought, oh wow, maybe I'll do a track based around sidechain, and it made this one quite more manageable in a way that the original elements were just so good. They were just gorgeous parts, and I thought, oh my god, how am I going to remix this? It's like so good. And I thought, why don't I just destroy it and make it a big chunk of kind of noise? And yeah, that's what that's what I kind of did. So yeah, sorry if I'm crap at explaining stuff, by the way. I kind of get carried away, and yeah, I just like love going through all this old stuff. But yeah, this is quite a few years old, but I wanted to dig it out and have a look. But yeah, any questions? If you want to go over it a bit more manageable, just drop me a comment anytime. And yeah, stand by for some more exclusive stuff, I guess, and some more videos. And let me know if you want anything particular on the subs, any particular things, like going over a track or a technique. If you want to see me play guitar or piano, I don't know, I'll have a go. But yeah, thanks for the support as usual. It means a lot, the support with the subs, because things are pretty shit in the music industry at the moment, with like streaming and stuff and royalties and stuff. I don't know what's gonna happen, but yeah, it means a lot, and you're like the life force behind all of this, so absolutely means loads. But yeah, I'll let you get on with your weekends, and I'll catch you pretty soon. See you in a bit, bye.